All right, we're on the air live. Wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do a show tonight due to scheduling conflicts, but we're here, we're live. We're probably going to run a little short. So come on in and we can get the conversation going early and probably sign off a little bit early. It looks like I've got one viewer coming from the YouTube side already, and the links are posted on the stunthangar.com control line forums in the At the Bench thread. So if you are a member and logged into Stunthangar, you'll be able to see that. If you want to come in here with your camera and microphone, that's where you get to do it. And meanwhile, I'm Rusty from Stunthangar, um, and we'll be here probably maybe 11:15, 11:30. Our usual 12 o'clock, a little late for me because I got to get going early in the morning. But looks like our YouTube viewers are gathering. So if we can get some of you to join up with your cameras and mics, I'll be your host for the next couple of hours anyway. And Bob Bishop just showed up on YouTube. Welcome, Bob. Glad to see you. Hope your customers will leave you alone so you don't have to run in and out too much. You can hang out and watch our conversations, and I'll put what conversations I can into the video side. If you've got questions or comments or answers or anything you want to discuss, and you're in the YouTube where it's text only, then just type it up and I'll try to incorporate it into our conversations. I had trouble doing that the other night. We got so busy that I wasn't able to quite keep up with it, but I'll do the best I can. And so, what do you mean, ha? Bob Bishop says, ha. What do you mean by that, bud? Anyway, I'm sure it's all good. So, yeah, Monday night, November 19th. I don't think I announced the date. It's usually the first thing I say. Getting slack on the job. But anyway, yeah, I got a lot on the slate tonight and for the rest of the week, and most likely will not be here Friday, and we'll arrange to get somebody to fill in for me if I'm not going to be here. Bob says his customers won't let him be for anything. Oh well, I guess that's why you make the big bucks, right? Hey, T-Bone. All right, Tom's with us tonight. Mr. Tom Luciano from the is it the Garden State Circle Burners, or is it the Middlesex Club? I know Al Ferraro is a member of one of those. You and he hang out. Let's see, what does he say? He says, "Hey, Rusty, wishing you the best on Wednesday and a speedy recovery. We are thankful for you." Hey, man, thanks. I appreciate that. I love it when I run into people that I've never seen or heard of before, and they tell me, "Hey, man, I watch your show all the time." And oh, it looks like we got a visitor here live on video. Oh, and that would be Sparky, and the first one in, reminding me I need to turn my troll controls, my troll prevention controls on. I'll do that right now. And are you within earshot, Sparky? And Bob Bishop concurs with T-Bone. Yeah, good luck. Thanks, man. Hey, luck's gotten me this far, and I'll tell you what, you can't always distinguish good luck from bad luck. So don't just shoo it off if you think you've had bad luck. Sometimes the way it works out, it turns into making the long-term view better than it ever could have been if it hadn't gone the way it did. And that's the way it is for me. I've had some, had things happen that I thought were thought were terribly bad for me. At the time, it seemed that way, and as it turned out over the years, it's made a huge positive impact on how much fun I've had and am still having. And when I get through this business this week, I hope I'll continue on, because I got the T-Bone Super Satan to fly too. I've only watched it. I hadn't actually picked up the handle yet. Looking forward to that. That'll probably be this spring if everything goes like we think it will. I have guarded but high optimism that everything's going to work out really well. I'll be a cyborg, half man, half artificial machinery. That's the exact definition of a cyborg. Cyberman, for those of you who watch Doctor Who. All right, enough blabbing from me. Somebody jump right on in. How about you, Sparky? What you got going on there? Make sure my microphone is on. Yeah, my lights are blinking when I talk. I can see you, but I cannot hear you. Let me look at my other control panel here. Yep, looks like your microphone's turned on. Turn it up a little bit. And it looks like the St. Louis workshop, from what little bit I can see right now. No, it's not. It's not St. Louis. It's the Dayton. I mean, yeah, it's the Dayton workshop. I heard a click and a noise.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes, sir.
Okay. What I did this weekend was I'm getting ready to build a new airplane. On Saturday, we made the titanium motor mounts for this. Took all day to machine that. Plus, we made another little nose cone for my unobtainium spinner, and we put this on the end mill. I'll show you these motor mounts. I'm trying to get this thing lighter, and I've already cut the crutch weight by a ½ ounce. So titanium is lighter than aluminum, plus it's harder. And so we took a ball mill and ball milled these slots in the motor mounts.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to hear from somebody, oh, you can't do that. I've done it a million times. But these
Well, now, judging by the color, that looks like wood. Are you saying that stick, that bearer you've got right there, is titanium?
This motor,
I see it. Okay, it was out of the view of the camera. Okay.
The engine pad is titanium.
Beautiful.
And the motor mounts are maple, but they're hollowed out every 2 inches. And so that'll be all right. I've already lightened it up by ½ ounce at the nose.
And a ½ ounce is a lot of weight for a small part like that. So good.
No, the ½ ounce on the total weight with the engine package and
okay,
and the fixings, all the fixings for it.
Nice looking pipe you got there too.
Yeah, well, I can't use it. It's not long enough. So we won't be using that one. Randy's making another one for me. I just was gonna. Hey, the first thing was to get this place cleaned up because I had a big mess on this table. I hadn't built here for quite a while.
Looks like Jamie Holford is joining us. Let me click the buttons and let him in. There we go. There you go, Jamie. Good evening. How are you tonight?
How's it going?
We're all good. Just getting started. We're going to try to do a little bit of a short show tonight. I might have to sign off earlier than midnight. Well, we've been setting some records lately. I think we've been on past 1 o'clock a couple of times lately. We've had good conversations going. These electric guys come in here and start talking, and it goes on and on. But I'm learning a lot that I didn't already know about setting up the systems for electric flight, and it's got its advantages. I'm not in any position to retool to convert my fleet to electric or start a whole new electric fleet, which we've decided is the best way to do it. But I would love to have one or two that I can just, pick up and go without having to worry about so much stuff in a flight box and all that, and leave the noise at home too.
Yeah, I'll never do it. I just have no drive for electrics at all.
Well, it depends on your situation. As long as you got a flying field where noise isn't a problem, then I don't see any need to switch. But it is more convenient. If you were going to be a 100% competitor, like some of these guys are all in, then it is more consistent. I mean, it can't be denied. But I like the smoke and noise. Everybody knows that.
Pretty hard to beat a PA for consistency.
Yeah, once you get the good engines all set up and running, you don't hardly ever have to touch the needle valve, crank and go. Might have to make a minor fuel adjustment for temperature or altitude. But that's part of the sport to me. I mean, I think it's fun knowing how to get the fuel load on the mark and knowing how to compensate. That's the parts of the hobby that I think is really, really cool. Separates men from the boys. You cut out all those ribs, or those the kit ribs, Jamie?
Yeah, it's like ribs.
What plane is that you are working on?
Vector.
What kind of taper has that wing got on it? Has it got a tapered lead edge, or is it just a straight rectangle on both sides?
Yeah, leading edge is left a little. Kind of like a Nova wing, in a way. That's what it reminds me of.
It's probably thicker. Is it thicker at the root than it is at the tips, from top to bottom?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but not like that.
Oh, yeah. It look like pretty decent wood too.
The ribs, yeah. The tail, no. The tail, crap.
I know some of the Brodat kits I've gotten have had the tail or the vertical stab cut with the grain running the wrong way. My baby Flight Streak was like that.
Yeah, like here's the elevator right here. Okay, it needs to be shaped and whatnot. One of these weighs 1.2 ounces. The other weighs 1.7 ounces.
That's pretty heavy. Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff. It's pretty thick too. Is it that's thicker than a 1/4 inch, isn't it?
1/2 inch.
Is it really? Wow.
You got to sand and shape.
What you gonna hinge it with? What kind of hinges you gonna use on it?
Regular old pin hinges. But I'm gonna get some new wood. I'm not gonna use. I'm just gonna use these for like just a template pretty much, and I'm gonna get some lighter stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right use anything as heavy as that.
That's almost 2.5 inches long by itself.
I've got a clothesline I made out of some old .018 flying lines that I can slide the two full size sheets back and forth on. If you want to look, look at the rear sheet, you can slide it one way. If you want to look at the front sheet, you slide it the other way. It comes in pretty handy. We got that little feedback thing going on, and I think it's something in your equipment, Sparky. I don't know why, but when you sign off, the feedback pattern clears up. It's done that. Well, it did the other night, and I thinking back about it, it has done it before. It's not annoying enough to be a problem, but just curious.
How about now?
I don't hear any feedback now. It looks like it went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cleared up. What did you do?
Turn your TV down.
Oh.
But I'm gonna get off here anyway. I gotta go to bed.
Okay, well, thanks for coming and showing us your new motor mount.
I got a video that I'm gonna make about it. We're cutting the foam cores. I'm changing the wing and a whole lot of stuff. Gonna have pocket hinges in it and the trailing edge of the wing. So we had to cut new form cradles. John's gonna build one. Just different things. They're progressing. Nose is gonna get shorter and the tail is gonna get longer.
Yeah. And where is John in his level of flying? Is he expert or advanced, or what's he flying right now?
He flies advanced, but Bill does an expert. Great builder.
Well, that's good. He's got one part of the game already knocked out. If he can fly his way out of advanced and build expert level planes.
All it takes is practice.
Yeah.
That's how you get to Carnegie Hall.
I've never practiced enough. I've always treated it too lightly and not put enough flights in. I need to maybe when I get back into the game, I can feel better and feel good enough to get a lot of flights in. At least 6 or 8 flights, where before I was only putting in 2 or 3, and I was hurting too much to get out there and do anymore, and my balance was off. I hope all that'll come back.
Well, since I made top 20 in a slight field last year, I'm going to practice more this year because I'm sure it's going to be more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't practice at all. I think I had about 13 flights last year.
Yeah.
Before the Nats.
Oh, that's Bob Bishop. Oh, okay. That was a while back. It was Bob Bishop saying he couldn't hear you, but we got that part fixed up now. Bob Bishop, can you hear Sparky now? He's on YouTube. Make sure that everybody is online.
Yeah.
We got Bob Bishop and T-Bone Tom Luciano out there. That's our only two YouTube viewers that have shown themselves so far. We got 12 minus you two, so that means we got 10 people out there watching us. Yeah, he says he can hear you and just fine now, so that's good.
Well, like I say, I got to get off here. I got to get ready and go to work tomorrow.
All right, man. Well, thanks for dropping in, and have a good week. And I don't know if I'm going to be here Friday or not. I will have been in the hospital, so you know, it all depends on if I get out in time and how many drugs I'm taking at the time. So I'll let you know if we want to get somebody to fill in or whatever. But,
all right.
All right.
Get well. See ya.
That's the plan. How old is your little baby now, Jamie?
Shit. Year going on a year and 3 months.
Okay.
3 months, 2 months. I don't know, something like that.
Already had a birthday, huh?
Oh yeah.
Like David Phelps just joined us. Good evening, David. David Phelps from North Kakalaki, as opposed to South Kakalaki and Minnesota Mike. Hey, Minnesota Mike, good to see you out there. They're chiming in and telling us who they are now. Minnesota Mike wishing me well. Thanks, Mike. Oh, Mike Leinke says I'll be on if he can get his freaking Wi-Fi extender working again. Oh, okay. Hope you can get that working. I'd like to have a more powerful Bluetooth system. I finally upgraded my Pandora to a paid service, and it doesn't drop out with commercials or the "Are you still listening?" Business. It'll still ask you if you're listening if they hit a certain bandwidth level, I think. But so far I've been trying it out. I like to turn the music on low while I'm, you know, sleeping at night or taking a nap or something like that. It always turns off before I wake up, and now I'm paying $4.99 a month, and it's still playing music commercial free when I wake up now, so that's good. That helps me go to sleep when I got a little music on in the background, little blues, little rock.
Yeah, I use Spotify. After 5 years of Pandora, I switched to Spotify, and I love it.
I read about both of them, just comparisons, and went ahead and chose Pandora. I knew about Spotify a little bit, but wanted to see what other people thought. And it's a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think Pandora has gotten more the rights to more music, but Spotify looks like they're poised to outrun Pandora pretty quick once they get rolling.
What I like about Spotify Whereas what you can't do with Pandora unless you pay for it. I can search up any song I want of whatever. I can add it to my favorites. Then I have a favorites playlist. I can just play that one playlist. Boom.
And it'll play the exact songs you want. Yeah, because Pandora just plays. They'll play your song once in a while, and then they'll play what they consider similar stuff.
Yeah, and half the time it's not even the same genre or nothing.
I did learn one thing is that giving thumbs up and thumbs down can screw your playlist up pretty bad if you use either one too much, and thumbs down seems like it'll screw it up worse than thumbs up will. That's been my take on it anyway. Y'all have to pardon me if I'm not too chatty tonight. My head's had a lot going through it past couple of days, so I'm just chilling. Yeah, Bob Bishop suggests I just rest Friday. This will be here when I'm ready. Well, true, but I like doing this show a lot, so I might be ready. You know, I can start it up and see how she goes. But Friday is a long shot. I might not even be home by then, although I'm expecting to hopefully be home Friday before too late. So we'll just see. I'm playing it by ear. Hey, Gerald Wimmer just hit us with a super chat. Thanks, Gerald. We appreciate the donations. For those of you, I think everybody that's on probably knows it's the $sign at the bottom of the chat box over on the YouTube watch page, and me and Sparky split some of that up. He doesn't tell me how much he splits it, but it's a help to both of us. Helps keep the servers going, helps him stay in the equipment, and helps my hobby budget. That's always a good thing. So I hope you can come in with us and join us live, Gerald. If Alina's not putting you to work spring cleaning or something. Let's see, it's November. Hell, it ain't. When does summer start? Let's see. The solstice is December 21st, I guess. So, you know, we're getting on towards the heat of the summer.
Oh man.
And Terry Forbes just dropped in. Good blessings for you. Pre-Thanksgiving procedure. Oh, let's see. I gotta let Tom Creasy in. Hang on, Tom. Do not touch.
Don't let that reject in here. Make an STD test first.
There you go. Tom Creasy is on the air. What's happening, bud?
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing? Oh, I'm doing okay. Oh, Jamie.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, what'd Sparky do? Sparky leave, did he?
Yeah, he had to drop out early. He's got a busy day tomorrow, so he came on and showed us the titanium motor mounts he cut out, and got a half ounce out of his whole system. So working pretty well. And I did not realize titanium was lighter than aluminum.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's a son of a bitch to drill too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and another guy got stuck with 4 airplanes, 4 F-18s up along the landing gear or the nose gear, There's a long panel right that runs parallel to the nose gear, and it's titanium. It's a stress panel, and we had to repair 115 holes in that panel.
Oh,
yep.
Did you have to go through did you ruin a lot of drill bits?
Oh, we had to completely go down the block towards where they started making the forward fuselage, and had to get a strip of titanium, and we had to cut our own holes to fit that panel, to fit that door, or to fit that plane. It was a long project. Took about 3-4 weeks to do. Titanium is something else. It's just amazing. You're like, holy cow, it's real light, and let me tell you, it's not forgiving. It's not forgiving.
Titanium mostly comes from deposits from meteors and such, doesn't it? It's not naturally occurring here on the Earth, is it?
I'm not sure, but that I don't know. I kind of remember something like what you just said had to do with something with titanium. But I used to remember all that detail, but I don't anymore.
I could be completely mistaken, but it seems like they used to believe that anyway. Maybe they've found natural deposits since then, but it seems like I remember learning that at some point in the game. It's kind of like you. I don't remember either.
Yeah. I'm working on my buck.
I just was about to ask you about that phallic thing you had in front of you there.
Yeah. It's getting there.
What's it going to be?
Hopefully a great flying airplane, and flies really good, and be super straight.
Has it got a name?
No, not yet. Not yet. So I've been kind of whittling on it. You know, it took quite a while to get. I took a piece of. I went to Menards and got some. Went to the milling department and got some Popular, and got me an exact 1x4 so I could get 2 pieces cut out. Here's what. See, that's what it looked like. I got the block glued down, and then I just shape it.
Yeah.
This is going to be for the bottom.
Oh.
But of course, I'll have a lot to cut off. I'll probably end up cutting half that off, you know. But it's kind of neat.
What's your reason for choosing poplar over any other kind of wood?
Because it's easier to work with. It's like working with pine, but a little harder.
Yeah.
But not as hard as maple, or you know, or cherry, or it's kind of a. That's why I did it. But yep. So I just been kind of whittling along, sanding and contouring until I like it. The roughest part of doing all this is keeping it super straight. I mean, super straight. You know what it reminds me of? Doing body work on a car.
Yeah.
I mean,
clamp that bottom part. You just clamp that in a vise, and then work on it with a long sanding block or a plane.
Yeah. Well, mainly I put this on here to keep the Popular, you know, straight.
Oh.
You know, to keep it.
Let me
rigidity.
that mic in. Hang on just a second.
Oh.
Don't touch any buttons, Mike. And come on. I don't know why it takes so many presses of the same button to do anything, but it does. Okay, I'm gonna go to plan B if this next press doesn't get it. All right, plan B. Hang on just a second. And okay, Mike should pop in now. Well, I thought he was going to. There you are. Yeah, but nobody else could see you. You weren't being broadcast to YouTube. There we go. All right.
YouTube froze for like 5 minutes.
You what?
The YouTube video, the live feed froze for like 5 minutes. I don't know if that was.
Oh, did it really?
Or it could have been just my end, but.
Well, you just blipped out to Avatar, and now you're back.
Okay.
Something might be going on YouTube. Strange stuff happens. Sometimes it's processing the video, and you can't see it until it gets all of its bits in a row.
So what's going on, fellas?
Not much. Just kind of a quiet night. We're gonna have a short show tonight. I gotta get out early. Got a lot going on this week, so probably sign out of here about maybe 11:30, maybe even earlier than that. Just depends on how things are going. So I'm gonna mute the sanding for a sec.
I'm being loud. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ending, that's ambience.
Jamie,
Well, it's okay, except for it hogs the system resources. When you've got something to say, just click the mic back on.
is that your Nats winning airplane you're building there, Jamie?
Yeah, this is my advanced winner right here.
Advanced. You're moving to advanced?
Yeah. I got
All right. Good for you.
Good work. You've been winning a lot of contests, huh?
No. Not, especially not the last one, but
Well, that's okay. Once you get up with flyers that are better than you, you'll start flying better too.
oh yeah. And I mean, I was planning to go to Nats in a intermediate, and then my buddy Steve is like, "You don't drive all that way and spend a week at the Nats to go fly in an intermediate."
You can fly both.
Yeah.
You know what you can do, Jamie? If you win intermediate, they pay your entry for advanced. You can go fly intermediate and still fly advanced, whether you win or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're moving up. There's nothing to say. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. I didn't do it last year because I was flying combat when advanced started, and I didn't want to give up flying combat to go fly stunt. So,
yeah.
But yeah, you can fly both. Go win intermediate and then fly in advanced.
Yeah, that's a highly possible thing right there.
Just think
looks like Gerald's here. Let me let Gerald in.
Hey, Gerald.
Here he comes. Now the button works for Gerald. Some people it works for, some people it doesn't. And you need to turn your microphone on, Gerald, and you'll be with us.
Hi, Rusty. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Gerald. Thanks for the super chat donation. Appreciate that.
Thanks for doing the show. I hope your op goes well. Hope you're all fixed up well tomorrow.
That's the plan. I'm not deviating from the plan this time.
I'll be right back.
Well, at least you got the winter to recover anyway. You can hopefully get back up to strength and be all ready to go in spring.
Yeah. I'm thinking from people I've talked to that the recovery on this type of surgery, although it's a more invasive surgery, is actually a faster healing deal than the type they did last time, and stronger too. So we're hoping for the best. I'm expecting the best.
I suppose should be a much better long-term prognosis if you're not having to rely on bones that are already compromised. You're going into new material. So,
yeah. Yeah, the only thing that I imagine that worries me is the thought of, it's kind of a conical piece that they drill out the cavity far in your femur and then jam that thing down in it. With or without cement, they make the call at the time. There's reasons to go one way or the other, but I just worry about it splitting as if you were about to, hammer a nail into a piece of wood. But I have talked to some people that have had them done, and they prevent that with wrapping the femur before they actually insert the part. So there's all kinds of different ways to do it. So yeah, I think we're going to be good this time.
Yeah, well, it's not an uncommon procedure now. It's the main thing. It's something that's done routinely, and a lot of people have a much better quality of life after having a hip operation. So
yeah,
you'll be one of them too.
Materials have improved so much since they first started doing it, and it's much simpler than knee surgery too. Knees are complex joints comparatively speaking.
Hi, Gerald.
Hi, Tom.
How do you do?
Oh, been busy as it comes on to summer here. I've just got one job after the other all lined up for me. And I was working on a car and the boys came home and my wife said I'm not going to be home till late, so I thought, stuff it, I'm going on Stunthangar. Everything can wait, and I can try and catch up with what's happening across the globe anyway.
Yeah,
what is happening down under?
Well, it's turning hot.
It's hot right now.
It's getting warm. Yeah, not hot.
He's going in the summertime, ain't he?
We're already at the start of summer, so we've got some nice weather. It was getting drier.
November here is like, November there's like June here, so it's June, like what we would see on June, 20 something, June 19th actually.
Yeah, 6 months out. So yeah, it's pleasant weather. We've got a big stunt contest coming up in 2 weeks. I'm supposed to be the contest director for that, but I'm still not sure what events I'll fly in the stunt event. Last year I tried to do too much, and I think I might just be classic with this year if I'm trying to help other people. It's easier just to cut the load on what you're trying to fly as well if you're supposed to be running the event.
Being a contest or an event director is a huge job.
Well, luckily everybody
director especially.
Y'all talking about weather? We had some beautiful weather here in Tennessee this weekend. It was 5, sunny, no wind. Sam and I went and had an RC day yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Show you something I did. This glider, gentle lake glider. I bought $3 and just too cheap. Started on an elevator. I had a one on it, the suction tank, but there was too much vibration in the pod, so it would never quite run right. So I decided to get rid of that, and I put a VA 049 with a bladder on it.
Oh,
man, we almost lost it the first time we flew it. I put a 3/4 of an ounce of fuel in it, and this thing just went up like a rocket, man. These Russian VA were dying. That's flying combat back in the day. But I bet this thing was 1,000 feet in the air. It was just a dot. I barely see the wing orientation and what way it was going. But that VA, man, that thing cranks out some pop. Let me tell you. So we put about 6 flights on this yesterday, and then yesterday Sam actually landed this thing for the first time. It's just like an Eagle 63 46 size trainer. He flew the hell out of it 8 or 9 times, and he landed it twice without breaking it. So we just got to get him taken off next. That's the next thing we need to do is power takeoff. He can fly the glider takeoff, no problem.
Yeah.
wheels. You got to use that rudder when you're steering going down the runway.
Yeah, it gets tricky. I've never actually done it, but I know it's pretty tricky taking off.
The other thing I wanted to show you guys, you need to pick one of these up. This is a WL Toys Cessna. I'll show you the box here in a minute. It's just a little, micro electric RC. It's rudder and elevator only. Here's the box. Let me get a shot of that. You can find that on eBay. WL Toys. Comes with everything you need. That's the brand right there.
I gotta go get a drink.
They're $39, and I tell you what, for $39, it's a pretty good fine little electric RC plane. And extra batteries are like $3 a piece. So, if you want a good little electric flyer,
when you say it comes with everything, you're talking about the radio equipment too, or you gotta already have your radio?
Nope, comes with its transmitter. It's ready to fly right out of the box. You strap the wing on, charge the battery. The back charge is a little USB, iPhone, whatever, and it's ready to go. And then I bought like 4 extra batteries, but it actually has pretty good flight time. It flies for about 8 minutes on that little battery. It's they're not expensive. It's a standard toy grade battery. These a lot in drones, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little 2, and they're cheap. Anyway, we had a big time flying RC stuff yesterday. We didn't wreck anything either. So we took a control line plane with us, but we didn't even get it out of the truck, if you can believe that. Sam was so jazzed to be flying RC, he didn't want to bother with.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, you don't need to practice, so I let him.
Well, did you fly RC before you ever got into control line? Which way did you go?
Both, really. I mean, I was probably 6 or 7. I started flying RC fighters and flying at the same age, because my dad did both. Dad flew both.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that one time. Man, your sound is pretty bad. I'm gonna turn it up louder just to see if that helps.
I flew RC when I was a kid. I did control line. I mean, between the ages of 6 and 13, I flew a lot of RC gliders and powered ships.
Yeah.
And then when I was a teenager, when I started building, I built control line models. Ringmasters, flight streaks, twisters, and that was something I could go off and do on my own.
Yeah.
Without help. So, but a little bit of both, and been in and out of RC all my life. I got back into it again when Sam came along because he wanted to fly RC too. So I just go to swap meets and buy other people's junk. I don't build them. Like I said, I paid $10 for that glider, man. You see the wing on that thing? God, there's got to be $40 worth of monocoat on that wing. It's huge. Yeah. The swap meets around here are pretty good. You can the trainer. I paid $30 for the trainer. It didn't have an engine in it, but it had all the servos in it. So I just had to put a receiver and a motor in it, which I already had.
Hey, what about your trike? Did you ever get the engine torn down and looked inside of it?
I haven't touched it. I've been, man, after that happened, we still went to like 4 more contests, and we just went to Disney for a week. I haven't had time to even look at it. But yeah, I did take the prop off. I did take the prop off it to see if it was the redrive bearings that froze up on me, and it's not. The redrive is fine.
Yeah.
So either it's the crank bearing or the jug. Something's wrong in the piston. I'm gonna have to pull the jug off it. It'll be a winter project.
Yeah.
That flying season's over too for us for that, because I don't fly in that thing when it's cold. I don't like to be cold.
Yeah. Just 1 cylinder.
I'm sorry?
How many cylinders is it?
Just one. Just one. It's an Italian single cylinder, 28 horse motor. It's called a Simonini is what it's called. The good thing is they've been using those on ultralights and PPGs for like 15, 20 years. So parts are readily available, and they still sell that engine. So it's not like the parts are unobtainium. Some of these flying machines, they'll be, the motors are like the flavor of the year. They'll come out with a new one with a motor, and they'll run it for 2 or 3 years. And then that company goes out of business, and you can't get any parts. You can't get support. You can't get the things you need. But the Simonini's pretty bulletproof. It's been around for a long time, so a lot of guys are still using it. Because if I had one like 5 other brands, it'd be going to the scrap pile because you can't get parts for them.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, did y'all hear about Pico's Bill going down in Texas the other day?
The what?
Pico's Bill, the P-51 Mustang.
Oh no! What's the story?
Full scale Warbird Pico's Bill. It crashed 2 or 3 days ago in Texas. Killed the pilot and a passenger. And actually, it crashed into an apartment complex where they parked the cars and stuff. They took out a bunch of cars with it too. Apparently, they were doing a formation flight with a B-17. He experienced engine trouble and he crashed in a parking lot.
Oh shit!
I looked up a little more on the history of the airplane. The guy that owns it, he bought the airplane 5 years ago, and here's what really sucks about it. He would take veterans, World War II veterans, for free rides in this P-51 Mustang. That was his deal. He would, it's got 2 seats in it, and he would take veterans up for a ride in the thing, and he had a vet with him. He had an old guy with him when it crashed.
Oh man!
Yeah, if you look on YouTube for Pico's Bill, you'll see all kinds of videos of him flying around with these old World War II vets and stuff.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to take a note right now so I can remember to look that up.
Yeah, it's a shame. Another Mustang lost.
Yeah. PECOS.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'll look that up and see what I can see about it.
Yeah, I'm glad I got my ride in one. I rode with Jack Roush in Old Crow back in 2001.
Yeah, I know that.
For about an hour. Yeah. Pretty awesome. Pretty amazing airplane.
That's a pretty long ride.
It was. I didn't think it was going to be that long, believe me. I barely knew the guy, man. He used to fly into the airport that I was managing the drop zone in Michigan, Scott Center. And he flew in and out of there quite a bit. And he'd stop and use the bathroom, get a bottle of water, stuff like that. He flew in there one day on a Wednesday, middle of the afternoon, and he was just out there shooting a breeze with me. And he said, "You want to go for a ride?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be once around the patch, 10 minutes or something like that. But he flew me for almost a full hour in the thing. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Of course, I wanted to jump out of it.
What model of Mustang was it?
It's a D. It's a D, and it's Old Crow is what it is. It's got the black and white insignia on the cowl, Old Crow and a red rudder. Now there's a couple. I think there's actually like 3 of those with that paint job. Jack's is not the original Old Crow. It's just painted up like it.
Yeah.
I don't know the history on his particular Mustang, if it was a end of the war thing or, I know a lot of them have come out of like South America and stuff. It was a popular place for guys to get them in the 70s and 80s because they were still flying them in the Air Force down there in South America. But anywho.
Somewhere in South America or some of the Pacific Islands where a bunch of Spitfires still in the crates turned up. I don't remember the whole story on that, but
Like 5 of them, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, brand spanking new.
Yeah. Well, and there's the ME 109 too. There's like 7 of them out in California. Trying to remember the movie.
Battle of Britain.
Was it Battle of Britain? Yeah. And then one of the stunt pilots from the movie, the guy who directed all the dogfight scenes, he did it with the agreement that he could have the airplanes after the movie. That's how he ended up with it. So they gave him all these ME 109s and parts, and they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere, maybe in Texas or California. And he died a few years ago. And it's, they just mothballed after the movie. He never flew them. He just mothballed them in some big hangar. And people have been trying to get their hands on those forever. But the family's not selling.
Yeah.
I think he's got some other warbirds in there too. He has some other things as well. But the big part of it was he had 6 or 7 complete ME 109s that were used in the movie.
Wow. Huge amounts of money tied up into those things.
Yeah. There's quite a few old warbirds still floating around here. A lot of them have been rebuilt here in New Zealand. We've got some quite nice collections. Some of them are private collections, and I've also worked at the Museum of Transport and Technology since I was a teenager, working on their different old warbirds. Their best piece would be a Lancaster bomber, World War II Lancaster bomber they got from the French. They used it for maritime reconnaissance after the war, and that's the nicest piece in the Museum of Transport and Technology here in Auckland. They've also got 2 flying boats, a Sunderland and a Solent flying boat. So they're both quite significant sized 4-engined aircraft as well. But yeah, there's a lot of aircraft floating around the world, and surprising what's come out of South America and Africa, and some of the amazing warbirds that have come out of Africa have been like Sea Furies and things that they dug out of there. But often it was those former colonies that carried them over into the 60s and 70s, kept them going. And it's amazing what turns up. But,
David Phelps on YouTube says he's been in a bunch of rides in Jack Roush in a Jack Roush Mustang, a Ford Mustang, that is. So.
Oh. That's funny. Yeah. There's a D3 restoration going on at an airport not far from me. It's a pretty famous jump plane. It's called Mr. Douglas. Douglas DC-3, and it's been a skydiving plane all through the 70s and 80s and the 90s. And actually, it's been in a couple of movies. The movie Congo, where they jump out of the airplane with the gorilla. That's Mr. Douglas. And then the other movie it was in was Mulholland Falls. It's the DC-3 that they landed with the gear up. They belly landed the gear up. They paid the guy a ton of money to crash the airplane. I mean,
Jesus.
Belly landed it and bent the props, But anyway, that's Mr. Douglas, and it's a famous skydiving plane. It's been around forever. Another kind of unique story about Mr. Douglas was in the 80s and early 90s. It would disappear during the week from the Florida drop zone that it was at. It would be gone one day, and it would come back on Thursday or Friday in the middle of the night, and they would have to unload the airplane. They were making trips down to South America and bringing back recreational pharmaceuticals for Americans. And I mean hundreds of pounds, man. Hundreds and hundreds of pounds. The story I heard, it was always marijuana. They were flying marijuana into the country. So it's kind of skydiving lore about that airplane. But anyway, it's out at Tullahoma, where the Tennessee Skydiving Center is. It broke down there in 1998 or thereabouts, lost an engine, and the owner just kept paying tie-down fees, and the airplane has been sitting on the tarmac at the Tullahoma airport for the last 20 years. He couldn't afford to fix the airplane. You know, eventually the tires went flat, and one engine was off it, and the prop was gone, and it's just sitting there forever. Well, in the last year, they got a little organization together called Save Mr. Douglas, and they've got some money, and they 2 new engines on it this summer. It just got brand new landing gear and tires in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're going through the process of restoring the airplane, and they're bring it back to the skydiving community again. It'll be a jump.
Bishop writes that he jumped Mr. Douglas.
Who did?
Bob Bishop on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I never got to jump it, Bob, because it was broke down. By the time I moved to Tennessee, the airplane was already broken down, and I just looked at it every weekend. We'd go out and get in it and, you know, drink a beer once in a while, stuff like that. But I never had the opportunity to jump it. The only DC-3 that I did jump was one they used to bring to Richmond, Indiana, and it was called Lady Luck, and it was like a desert camel DC-3. Had like, I think it was like a Budweiser girl on the front of it, Lady Luck holding Budweiser or something like that. But anywho, they're gonna get Mr. Douglas flying again. Who was that was in there, Rusty?
It's R.W. Bishop. His name's Bob.
Okay, hey Bob, if you're on Facebook, there is a Mr. Douglas restoration page on Facebook. I think if you're a Facebook member and you just Google, search Mr. Douglas, you should be able to find a restoration page where they're doing all the work to it and all that stuff. And of course, they got links where you can send money. They all they want money, you know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you get a piece of the airplane if you donate enough money. I mean, sometimes that's how that stuff works, is you get to be a percentage owner, stuff like that. But anyway, it's cool to see the old thing getting put back together instead of rotting away out there, you know.
First plane I ever flew on was a DC-3.
Oh. Yeah, I got to go DC-3 as part of a flying exhibition. I had to fly for the Air Training Corps, which is like for adolescents that want to join the Air Force. They get them to join the Air Training Corps, and so we put on some control line flights in a closed area for the within the airbase. The RC guys couldn't do it because their time slot and the area that we had to fly was too small. So we flew our control line models, and I got to go on a DC-3 afterwards with all the kids from the Air Training Corps. But yeah, that was cool. It was nice to know we've done some flying. We've been with DC-3 the same day, but Max has been drawing pictures while we've been talking, and he's got some quite neat pictures. I'll see if I'll show it.
How you doing, Matt?
Good, thanks.
Well, this is his first one. He's got his Max the Cat character flying.
Nice drawing.
Hey, that's really good, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna click that up. Keep it up there for a second. Okay, now I got it. That's good detail. That's really good detail.
Yeah, and the next one he did, I think he's done with Mike Monkey in the background. He's saying he's got his cat character flying 3 combat models at once. And what does he say?
Too close, Cheryl. Back it up a little bit.
I could.
Yeah.
With his tail. Back up a little bit, Cheryl. That's too close. There you go.
Back it up a little more, bud. Yeah, to your right. There you go. Let me do.
I wish I could do that.
That's his own character that he's got, Max the Cat. That's his own character he's invented. And then another one, he's just drawn this one as well, where the character releasing the model, flying off with the model as well.
Yeah, forgot to let go.
You gotta make a decal of that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to post those pictures on Stunthangar, Gerald.
Yeah, I will. I think I'll post some of them because he just loves drawing. He's great at drawing.
Put him in the humor and we'll put him to work. Right?
He's a cartoonist, yeah. I might contract with him for a little bit of decoration for my next plane.
Yeah, he loves drawing, and he's drawn some characters for his own aircraft and stuck them on the wing, things like that. But he tried to create his own character, his Max the Cat character, like he's got flying on the first one. That's the character he devised his own because he realised for copyright purposes he can't really use a Garfield or a Felix or whatever. So he's got Max the cat's his character.
Yeah,
that he
he
created.
does look a little like Felix, and I've seen Felix on some real warbirds, though. Felix
Yeah.
the cat. He was on some bombers and some Hellcats and some
Yeah.
other stuff. Very cool.
I used to have my own character called Ralph the Rat, and Ralph was always getting into trouble doing high speed and otherwise crazy things. And I find one, I'll be rummaging through drawers now and then and find one. I never organized them. It would just spring out of my head, and I'd draw a cartoon, you know, and put it, you know, somewhere, and I run into them once in a while. Yeah, David Phelps says that'd be a good logo for a club patch. It reminded me of the Philly Flyer with him standing on the pedestal, you know, because they've got William Penn standing on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just not that much art for control line. So I said to Max, you best to start creating some art and we can put it out there as well. And we should try and post them on Stunthangar, and I'll try and put them in our club magazine. But he just loves it.
Yeah. Do you want to know how to develop the character?
Oh, that's quick.
Okay. Yeah. First I just start off with a Felix or feline frolics, and then I moved it down to a cat that didn't look too much like him. Because Felix the cat nowadays looks like a man in a cat suit.
Okay.
No. Dressed up as a cat. You know, not quite like one.
Is Otto an artist also?
He's
Yeah.
he draws, but in a very different style. He has got a very different style to Max, but you've both got a very different flying style as well. I can see Otto's more he loves flying his stunt maneuvers. He's actually getting his maneuvers quite good now. One of the other chaps was commenting on the weekend. We had a very destructive weekend with lots of models smashed, but it wasn't Otto or Max crashing them. It was Mum and Dad and your auntie crashing them all, wasn't it? No, you and Otto were very good flyers all weekend. So the modelling room is full of wreckages. I can't really walk through there until I tidy some of the smashed models. But Otto's flying's got really good. He's doing nice inverted, and he's got the reactions that young people have. I don't have his reactions anymore.
I'm glad to hear that.
Get those boys on a plane next fly, man, and get them to the U.S.
Yeah, we'll have to aim to do that. We'll have to try doing some more events, and if we can get overseas and go to Brodak or something, one of the Brodak events in the future, it would be great. But yeah, it's a slow process working through and getting there gradually.
Yeah, if y'all could make an extended stay of it, we've got Brodak, the Joe Knoll, and Huntersville all within a month's period of time.
Right.
Yeah, I know quite a few guys from New Zealand have actually gone to fly at the US Nets. Ones I know are Don Robinson, or Andrew Robinson, and Paul Lagan and Bryce Gibson. They've all gone to fly in the US, and others have gone to the World Champs as well.
Gerald,
Hi, Steve.
you have a team, a national team, New Zealand stunt team or whatever?
Yes, we had a couple of representatives that we know that went along to fly at the World Champs. I'm not at that level. I'm far off that.
Well, what about one of the boys as a junior? Do you guys take juniors to the World Championships?
It hasn't been done yet, but I presume it would be possible. We could do it in the future. And the fact that they run up to 18 or so as a junior now, maybe
Correct.
if we
Actually, they're going to 21 is what I heard last.
Oh, hey.
For FAI, I had heard 21 is going to be the new cutoff. I think Samantha is going to be eligible to go again.
Yeah.
We'll be waiting to send Sammy, I guess, because he can't beat her yet. So as soon as Samantha gets out of the way, Samuel can go try out for the U.S.
Well, actually, Sam should be about ready. He'll be about 15 after Samantha's done.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that'll give him 3.
Ready in
He would qualify for 3 of them then.
Yeah. Yeah, he won't be ready in 2020 unless, I mean, if they have it in the States, you know, I keep hearing rumblings that there could be one at Joe Nall might host a world championship someday.
Well, you know, Mark Weiss was talking a couple of years ago. I guess it was 2017 because 18 got canceled about submitting Triple Tree to host the Worlds.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
It'd be nice, but you know, I don't know how much the AMA will put money towards it. That's been the thing that
Well, I mean, doesn't FAI pay for it?
now the host country's got to pay for a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think they actually it's probably like the Olympics. They probably pay the FAI to have it.
I got you. Well, Gerald, maybe someday our juniors will line up and we'll see each other at a world championship somewhere.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it'd be a nice thing to aim for anyway.
I think at some point we're going to make a run for that while Sam is still a junior. You know, at least try to make the team. And how many other juniors did Samantha have to beat to make the team, Steve?
Herself.
Oh, nobody else tried out that year?
For the last 2 years, 3 years, or 3 of them. There's only been one person that's tried out.
Okay. Well, I know there's some other competent youth out there flying right now, and I would imagine probably take a stab at it too. You know what I mean? So I think when Sam tries out, he's going to have some competition. He won't be the only kid on the team, you know. So he's got
probably be, you know, there's usually 2. You know, that's been for the last, I don't know, since Ryan Young won. It was him and Matt Cohen that fought it out. But usually there's just 1 or 2 that do the whole time.
But only one gets to go.
Right. But it's not like in China where they have 30 kids try out for it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, there's 2.
Well, I think that would be an exciting experience. I mean, you've done it with Samantha. I hope that someday Samuel gets the opportunity to earn a spot on the team and we get to do it too.
I don't see why not if he sticks with it, you know. That's like talking to the guy there in France from New Zealand. He knew Gerald and his sons, you know, knew about them. So yeah, they're excited about kids coming up in New Zealand, you know, and being able to fly for the team.
Yeah, I think there's some great flyers here in New Zealand, but a lot of it's the money at the end of it. It's an expensive trip going from here to France, and what families can actually afford it. But it's something you can aim for it long term. You can hopefully plan for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Hey, do you live in the Northern Ireland or the Southern Ireland?
In the north. We're actually north of where all the other, or most of the other flyers that flew at the World Champs live. One was from Hamilton, one was from Invercargill, considerably further south, but we often meet them at the Nationals or other events. But we're spread out. It's a long, thin 2 islands, and they're skinny island. We're on the top of the North Island, really.
Oh, okay. Most people, I take it, live in the North Island?
Yeah, most of them are all based around Auckland. Our main capital is Wellington, but most of them are living around Auckland. Auckland's our Los Angeles. It's the busy part of New Zealand.
Yeah, there's been a thing on National Geographic here for the last week about New Zealand and us, you know, showing, you know, I didn't realize there were 2 islands. You know, I knew the north part of it and the south part of it, but I didn't realize there were separate islands. But they're showing the south, and it's nothing but mountains and volcanoes, and
it's pretty wild. Yeah. It's got areas that are populated tend to be all the coastal areas, whereas the more inland areas, it does get very rugged in the South Island. And we've got the Tasman Sea separates the 2 islands, and that's quite a big barrier for travelling between the islands. You've got to go on a Cook Strait ferry to get over or fly down. So there's not one continuous road trip between the 2. You've got to break it up with a ferry ride.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, seeing the difference in in the the north and the south, how much difference it really was.
Now, there is, but right now we're quite warm. We're probably would probably be about in centigrade would be like 25 degrees, and in the South Island they've got snow right now in some of the more mountainous areas. That gives you an idea of the contrast in temperatures.
Yeah,
20-degree difference.
Yeah, I was watching that. It was pretty interesting, and the wildlife and all that kind of stuff, and really how long the two islands are and how much latitude, I guess, they cover from the very bottom of the south all the way up to the very tip of the north. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the top of the north's almost subtropical, whereas when you get down to the Stewart Island, which is the third little island at the very bottom, it's more like Tasmania. It's getting almost like into Antarctic regions. So there is a big difference in temperature, and the flora and fauna, everything that grows there is quite different to what grows in the north of the country too. But I suppose you get that sort of difference when you look at Portland or whatever in the north and Los Angeles in the south. You've got a very big different range in temperature and what grows and what doesn't.
So where do the Kiwis live?
The Kiwis themselves, the little birds,
yeah,
little flightless birds, they're mainly around the top of the North Island in the warmer areas. But yeah, they had these giant birds called moa that existed here in the past, and they were I suppose they're like big ostrich birds.
Yeah.
But they were a prominent feature of New Zealand, but we didn't have any large cats or pigs or dogs or anything. It was all birds. Everything was birds or lizards. All Europeans came to New Zealand. But yeah, most of their industry here is based on tourism now. So more people that come here, the better for us. But otherwise, it's agriculture. It's dairy products largely.
Hey Jamie, what are your Nats dates? How long are you going? What day are you showing up and stuff?
So far I got booked from Saturday to Saturday in my hotel.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So Jamie, did you get these bars cut out on your Victor? Did you manage to sort out? I noticed you had some questions on Stunthangar about the spars.
Yeah, I got them cut. I'm just trying to. It's just kind of mind blowing the way how it's telling me, but yes, it is what it is. It's just weird being tapered, and I just don't understand why they didn't just have it laser cut, tapered pieces in the kit and be done with this shit.
Well,
well, you have a doubler in the center there on the center ones, right?
What's that?
I think you have a doubler in the center.
You mean the doubler?
It double thickens that center spar.
Oh, no, not that I'm seeing. No.
Look on the ribs and see if the spacing where the bottom spar fits in.
Oh yeah. For the R1 ribs on both of them, yeah. You get the little notch out.
Yeah.
For the top and the bottom for the Velcro.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If you use the one piece, they give you the balsa wood 1/4 inch or whatever that is with the black painted on it. Pin that down to the table, and then just line everything up, and it'll build up really easy.
Oh, you're talking about the leveling bar, as they call it?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I already got that on there right now. It's just the way how that it tapered to cut it, because if you do it the wrong way, it'll be upside down. But the thing of it is, the way how it showed me which side's the top side, I guess it's just the way how the ribs are, because the little slot part, it goes from big to small. So I'm guessing that's just what it is.
Yeah, it'll fit right in.
Yeah.
It'll actually, once you start getting that set and then start adding your spars, everything lines right up, and you'll be able to glue it. I don't know why Randy did it like that. I just guess you need more of you know, a spar in the towards the center for strength than you do out at the tip.
Yeah, and the guy sent me a picture of his ARC Vector 40, and this has got 1/4-inch spars top and bottom. This one has this, you know, tapered spar on the bottom and 1/4 inch on top.
Yeah.
But then again, that's a ARC. It's corner cutting.
What kit is this?
Vector 40.
Oh, from where'd you get it? Laser cut? Or did you buy it from someone or what?
It's the Brodeck.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
It looks like you've got to do a lot of carving with the tail, what you showed before.
Oh, no, man. I just used 2 spars up, square spars up top and bottom, and
What is that? They put a
Top
2x4 in there?
Pretty
What
much,
is that?
man.
What
That's
the
top block.
I call this Pearl.
Mm.
You will bust anybody who talks back.
you call it Lucille?
It's Lucille without the barbed wire.
Oh my god.
Still weighs. Let me see.
Beat somebody to death with that thing.
All right, well, guys, get out of here, man. I'll check in with y'all later.
4
Rusty.
ounces for that big old thing is only 4 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah,
Rusty,
now
good luck with your surgery, buddy. We'll I hope you rebound quick, and we'll be checking in with you. Okay.
that's the plan, man. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, bye, guys. I'll see you later.
I'll leave on too right now. So, all right, man. Take it easy, and whether or not I'm here Friday remains to be seen. So, anyway.
Yeah, Jamie, just think that block weighs 4 ounces, and then you take out 90% of it.
Yep.
Probably more than that.
If you leave an 1/8 inch, you know, it's about what you have to do. You get thinner than that, and you can crack it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a picture someplace. We had I don't know, a Stunthangar someplace when Samantha was carving out the top blocks for her Tempest, which is the same airplane, different tips really. And she stuck the gouge, went through and stuck her in the bottom of the hand or in the finger.
Yeah.
She bled all over her wood. It had damn red spots all over the balsa wood from where.
Man.
I've never built a plane that didn't have some blood in it when I got through with it.
No, I actually stuck a wire all the way through my finger, and it come out the top side of my nail.
No.
Jeez.
That was 2 years ago. That was with the Bastard. That's how the Bastard got his name.
No, no.
Because that's what I said when I put that wire through my finger.
What were you pushing? What were you trying to push a wire through that you could shove it all the way through your finger?
Oh, I was tweaking a flap drive, you know, with my fingers, and I just did it by myself like this, bending it, and you know, it's so hard that it just snapped.
Oh, it snapped. Okay.
And it was so sharp when it snapped, it just went right through my finger and out my fingernail.
Damn, that hurts just you talking about it.
Well, it wasn't so bad except when I had to pull it out. That's when it hurt. It hurt worse pulling it out than it did when it go in.
I guess so, because you got time to think about it, pulling it out. You ain't got much time to think about it when it's going in suddenly.
I asked the wife if I put my finger in front of her face, said, "Hey, can you pull this out for me?" Oh, she about fainted. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, probably funnier now than it was then.
Yeah, well, it was funny then too. The look to see her look on her face.
Well, one time I was working on a house and redoing all the galvanized piping, putting in copper. So we're knocking down all the bracing and all that kind of stuff, and it was like some 1-inch flats, 1x2 or whatever, and they put it in with number of 16 nails, huge nails.
Oh my gosh!
So we knocked all this stuff down, and my ex-wife was talking to me or whatever, my cousin, and I slipped off a little 2-foot ladder. So I just figured I'd just step down, you know, because I lost my balance. But when I stepped down, I stepped on one of them boards with a 16 poking up straight.
Ooh.
And I felt, and I looked down, and here's my white Nike tennis shoe with a nail sticking up through it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna hurt. And all of a sudden, the pain set in, and like you said, pulling it out was so much more painful than when it went in.
Well, luckily it wasn't a ring shank.
The thing squeaked coming out of my foot.
Yeah.
God.
Pretty bad.
My wife's screaming and stuff because when I pulled my shoe off, my white sock was nothing but red, and blood was squirting out both directions.
You had to go buy a new pair of shoes.
No, actually, I cleaned them up and I put Band-Aids. They didn't bleed very long. And I had to get water back to the house, so we had to keep going. And we finished up putting all the copper pipe in and had water back to the showers and sinks and everything else in the house.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing you need. I've been on them kind of jobs before too. They suck.
Yep. It hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, especially after 3 or 4 days. Felt like a bruise, didn't it?
Yeah, you know, but luckily it was just up in the behind the ball of my foot.
Yeah.
So when I walked, it didn't put a lot of pressure on because I have a high arch in my, you know, on my foot. So it actually didn't touch the shoe. It hurt, but it didn't really bother me when I walked or whatever. So I was kind of lucky.
Yeah.
It didn't hit a bone or anything. It just went straight up through and never hit a tendon or a bone or anything. So I got pretty lucky.
That sounds lucky, yeah.
Bob Bishop's got a couple of yucks posted up on YouTube.
Yeah, some of those things you don't forget them. You know, I was working away on something the other day, and I forcing a screwdriver trying to get a clip undone, and I went through my finger and up into the underneath the fingernail, and then I thought, oh, this is going to get infected, and sure enough, it gets infected practically the same day. It's swelling up, and it took a week for the swelling to go down. So yeah, those sort of things you don't forget.
Yeah, they're usually nasty tools and everything else that you know, hit yourself with.
Yeah, you just got to be careful.
An equally gross story about busting my toe, but I'm not now. I'm starting to get ill just thinking about y'all's toes and feet. So I'll just leave it for another time.
Yeah.
I'm about to go to sleep here. I keep looking at my picture on the little film strip, and it looks like I'm just sitting here, head cocked down. So,
but what I want to know is that last year I go to the doctor, and they asked me when's the last time I had a tetanus shot, and I said I don't know, but I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. Well, they said you're not supposed to have one less than 8 years or whatever.
I was told 10 years.
Or 10 years, whatever it was. So I'm like, all right. So they look and stuff. Oh, it's been that long or whatever. So they give me this tetanus shot. Well, then the other nurse comes in and said, oh, we found this. He had the tetanus shot 4 years ago. It made my arm so sore, I could hardly lift my arm. And I'm like, why would that do that? You know, they say you got to wait 10 years, but if you don't wait, it about makes your arm have to be amputated. I never had something so sore in my life.
I had that sore where they injected it, but it's the person. If they inject all that too fast in you at one time, That really,
I
that
don't,
really.
I don't know when my last one was now. I wonder if I'm going to need to know that on Wednesday if they're going to ask me, because I'm not sure I could tell them. I know.
Yeah,
Sort
they might have a. They
no,
might have a.
so it was at one of the dock in the box places. So.
They might have a rusty tool or something, you know.
Yeah, rusty screw.
A rusty tool for Rusty.
Rusty knife.
Yeah, hang on just a second. I have actually.
He hasn't. He actually has a rusty tool.
A rusty nail. Railroad spike.
Well, more than likely, didn't you have that operation last year? Hasn't been about a year ago. You had that other thing done.
Yeah, it was December.
Yeah,
5th.
they probably made sure that you're up to date on it. Then.
Yeah, and it's going to be at the same place too, same hospital too. So, yeah, I guess they probably got it on record.
Yeah, because they're going to put metal in there. They're going to want to make sure you got a tetanus shot.
Oh, Jack Snavely just joined us. So good luck.
What, you guys? I've been been a full year without a cigarette.
Wow.
Yeah, November 10th last year was my last cigarette.
That's when you got your ears shocked, right?
Yep. I had my ears punctured with some big ass needles and hooked up to some wires and shocked the shit out of me.
You had to go for a redo, didn't you?
No, my wife did.
How about her? Is she still smoking, or does she give it up too?
Oh, she went back. Yeah, that's okay.
Hell, if I go in there for acupuncture, as much as I smoke, they'd have to stick one of them damn railroad spikes through my ear.
Yeah. Yeah, just push it in till it comes out the other ear.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. I don't care. Whatever.
I need to Google that, see if you're bullshitting us or not.
All right, Tom, go to the Nats this summer. I have you so nervous.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. I mean, you know, I got to knock on wood. Make sure my family's healthy and everything, and then I'll be there.
I'm gonna have you so nervous, dude. You're gonna buy a carton.
You're not gonna make me nervous because I'm gonna fly beginner. You won't even be around me. So if you fly intermediate, that's on a Sunday, right?
Oh yeah, I know. I mean,
you're gonna fly Sunday. We practice all day Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what me and my buddy do, we end up helping a lot of people. Is what we do.
The beginners practice all day Saturday and hope they have a plane for Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly beginner Sunday, and then I'm gonna fly in advance later that week.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would think then.
I don't know.
Hey, dudes. Yeah, I'm really tired here, and
yeah, I'm tired myself too, Russ.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. It's 11:15, and so like I said, we'll see about Friday, and I'll let Sparky know if he wants to fill in for me or whatever. But
maybe even Charles can do it too, can he?
He can, yeah, if he's not busy with family stuff. He doesn't know how to set up as a host though, so you got to go through setting up a bunch of crap to do it.
So when's your operation's Wednesday?
Yeah.
So you get your turkey dinner in the hospital, huh?
I guess so.
Oh, you get that old fake ass turkey too that just add water shit.
And we got a good food service at our hospital. It's great.
They told us the same thing when Shelby was born. I get a free steak because I'm a dad now and stuff. Yeah, right. That stuff came out of a can.
No, I mean, buddy, I've got my menu. I've got a ham. I've got turkey. I've got all kinds of side dishes and goodies, and I'm going to start cooking Wednesday. I won't stop cooking until Thursday afternoon. 24-hour cooking spree.
Is the turkey frozen right now?
Yes, but it should be thawed out by tomorrow.
Yeah, Samantha's got to work on Thanksgiving Day, so I'm gonna go up there about noon and just take her and her friend out to eat, because her friend lives in Detroit and she can't go back home because she's got to work. So we'll do Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant, I think, this year.
Yeah, I've got kids coming, and then my dad, and I'm going to stock him up full of food.
Well, that's good.
Okay, dudes. Y'all have a great week, and I'll see you on the other side. And all you YouTubers, we got a good crowd over there tonight, and so y'all guys take care, and look forward to coming back for the next show, whether it be Friday, Monday, or whenever. And if y'all want to sit here and talk, it'll do everything but record to YouTube. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop the broadcast. So fair winds, tight lines, and we'll see y'all later.
All right, sounds good. Take it easy. Good luck, Rusty.
Good luck.